It's spring 2018, which makes it over a year since the lab project began. Technically, the project isn't actually complete yet, but will be in just a few months' time at the start of summer. And even though an entire year has passed, not many projects or experiments have been undertaken in the lab yet. This is mainly due to the fact that it's taken a long time to outfit the interior and actually bring the lab to an operational state. Also, the fact that I'm studying electrical engineering at university means I'm only able to be at the lab during time off or at the odd weekend. The lab will officially be complete when we host the lab opening ceremony event at the start of summer. By that time, the lab's interior will be fully furnished and the exterior will be complemented with the instalment of a patio. This will be a big event and you can certainly expect a video or two documenting the day's activities. But enough looking into the future for now, it's time to have a look back at what took place over the past 365 days or so and see how this gargantuan project began. Over the past few years, my projects and experiments have grown in size and complexity, slowly spilled out of my room and assimilated many other areas of the house. The most notable cases of this include when I claimed the converted loft room as my temporary lab until I get a shed, and Project Exodus, the large-scale Tesla coil project that occupied 3 entire rooms of the house for over a year. Needless to say, I've always needed my own space to store and work on my projects. The idea of me getting a shed gained a lot of traction since early 2013, after I built my first large-scale project. It would only be a small, simple garden shed. My plan of having a full-scale lab was simply a pipe dream at that point. As the years went by and my collection of apparatus grew, the need for more space increased. At this point though, a shed would not be sufficient to store expensive and delicate equipment and computer hardware. A small wooden roof would just not protect against the elements, especially the harsh English weather. The only other solutions going forward were much too expensive, so the whole lab idea went on hiatus until about 2016. Luckily, our family has a friend who is a builder, who would make an outbuilding for a considerable discount. This, and the fact that it would add extensive value to the house, rather than, say, a shed, was what made the project economically viable. However, this builder had a full schedule until at least summer 2017. That was until we got a call out of the blue early in March 2017, with the news that someone had cancelled a construction job, so the builder was free to start work on the lab that same week. And so, on the 16th of March 2017, after 2 days of me clearing the site, the footings started being dug. Okay, so we're here at day 3 of construction of the lab. It is action today. The footings have been finished. The bricks arrived yesterday. I've got some pictures of those. And as you can see, it was at this point I created this YouTube channel. I made a small video series showcasing the lab construction, which you can watch at your own discretion for much more detail than what this video will provide. This channel would become the primary place to upload project-related content instead of my other channel. Over the next few days, the footings were completely dug out, and it was our job to move 3.5 skips worth of soil through the house using wheelbarrows. Now, the funnest part of shoveling soil is going up the ramp. So that's the end of day 5. To be honest, today has not been that much of a productive day. It's just rained, it's just tipped it down, absolutely torrential all day long. It's completely destroyed the ground. The whole drive's been flooded. And this remains one of the most laborious tasks we've ever undertaken, but it's all in the name of progress, so I was happy to expend all of my free time towards it. Soon after, our concrete truck appeared and a pumping system was set up throughout the house and garden to fill up the footings. Before long, the bricks started to go down and the walls slowly got higher and higher as time went by. Okay, so welcome to day 4. A lot has happened whilst we've been away. The brick people, the masonry people came in and started laying down the first layer of bricks, and it's looking pretty good. It's starting to come together now. The wall's starting to come up. We'll take you down there in a second. Okay, so as you can see, it is really starting to take shape. Yeah. We've got a wall like half the size of me. Yeah, the wall goes all the way around. They've started the proper red, sunset red brick, which is like what they normally do, because you have to have the bottom layer as a different colour
as well, isn't it?
Yep.
That's the idea.
By the end of March, the soil had all been moved and the walls were halfway complete. Come and have a look at it now. Builders worked hard over the weekend, and you can properly see all 4 corners now. You can get a very good feel for the size. Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to the video logs of the lab build. It has been quite a while. Have a look. A lot has changed since the last video. By the 17th of April, the roof was complete, the concrete floor was laid down, and the first phases of the electrics were installed. Guttering, drainage, and other miscellaneous items were also fitted during this time. That's all properly waterproofed, sealed fiberglass with epoxy resin covering it, which is giving it its grey colour. Luckily, spring last year was mostly sunny, unlike this year which has been a complete wet wash. Suffice to say, if the lab build was done this year, it would probably never get off the ground until summer. By the end of April, more people were brought in to keep to the schedule, and the building was finished structurally. So hello everyone and welcome to day 10. Here it is, the lab structurally is complete. We've got our fancy doors and windows on. Let's take a look inside. The doors and windows were in, plasterboards were up and skimmed, as well as more of the electrics installed. A 2-month break ensued as exams drew in for me and my friends. You'll also notice the skirting board going around the bottom. That also will be painted when we paint the walls, which we might do next week, I'm not sure. You can see all the plugs, all the sockets are ready to go on. We just need the electrician to come around and put them on. And then all those cables there will link up to the sub panel that I've just finished wiring. On the 10th of July, we all headed down to the lab for an intense 2 days of painting the walls and ceiling, as well as digging a trench to bury the power and network cables. What are we up to today, guys?
We're painting!
Got our 12 litres of brilliant white emulsion. Matt's measuring out the water, so we can do a wet coat first, so it seeps into the new plaster nicely.
You join us as we just finished the search for the missing flannel in this empty room. I've not slacked at all today. I even worked whilst those two had a tea break.
It wasn't a long tea break, it was like a mini tea break.
A tea break is a tea break?
So yeah, just done the second coat. I want it for it to dry, so we can do the third coat.
Looking good.
Deemed necessary. By the end of July, we had the lights on, power flowing, and even a wired internet connection. So if you look inside, this is all the wiring for all the existing circuits. So power enters through here, goes into the isolator switch, just a simple live neutral earth. Then goes up through a 32 amp fuse, and then enters a 32 amp breaker to protect the whole building. At this point, we waited a month for our plumber to be available. When the time came, running water was plumbed up to the lab and the trench was filled back over. Finally, the floor was painted. At the end of September, our builder made one last visit to install the work surface and sink. The lab was finished, except it was merely an empty shell, just waiting for me to occupy it. However, at this stage, I started university, so substantial progress could not continue until the Christmas break. As the weekends rolled by, I slowly but surely moved all of my projects and experiments, equipment and raw materials into the lab. Over the Christmas break, I designed and built shelving units from wood to help store things and began the gradual process of transforming the lab from simply a storage space to a fully functioning workshop. During this time, the snow and winter weather hampered my progress as I was trying to cut wood outside, but before long, we were in business. I went back to university until the Easter break. At this point, I took the time to finish off all the odd jobs and get the lab to the stage where it is now. This time last year, this was just an ordinary garden with an area for a bonfire, and ever since then there's been a complete transformation, and this creation has been constructed. It's a fully functioning lab, and as you can see we have areas for every single different discipline that we'll be working on and experimenting on here. We've got areas for mechanical engineering and sort of like carpentry, the physical construction of things. We've got obviously a very important area dedicated to electrics and electronics, soldering, working with components, microprocessors, stuff like that. Then we have one corner dedicated to computing, so we have screens and laptops so we can do programming. We're going to have the central server set up here, which will be linked to our Internet of Things project, which I've briefly mentioned before, as well as networking and network connections. And then we have one other area over here, which is currently unused, but is going to be an area dedicated to the transistor CPU, which I'll talk about in another video. So as you can see, the lab is at a point where it both looks and feels operational. I've done a few things over the Easter break to help with that. I've made some more storage / shelving units, just to store all the projects, all the equipment, all the raw materials, stuff like that. And I also built this table, so there is just more desktop space, because when projects get underway, they can very quickly and very easily take up a lot of work surface space, so we've got that now. So I've also done a load of odd jobs over these past few weeks. For instance, we've now got our 16 amp C-form socket wired in and working, if you want to use that. I just sorted out the wood we have and other raw materials, so it's very quick and easy to access things. And obviously with the new shelving units, that's helped divide everything up and put things into their proper places. So the only other things that need to be put in here for the lab to be complete is a set of trunking to go around the entire perimeter of the lab to hide what's currently the speaker cabling, but the idea is that we're going to have all sorts of sensors and signalling cable going around the lab to different electrical items. We will obviously network that through a load of cabling that we want hidden, so we'll put that through trunking around the outside as well. And then the other thing is, this currently is the only component drawer that I have. I'm going to be getting a lot more components, so I'm going to try and get a few more of those few of the storage bins, put those on the wall, put some of those over in the storage area, and just a few things like that, and that will pretty much make the lab complete and the projects will begin. We have here the official certificate from the builders that confirms that this building is complete and follows all the standards and building regulations, as well as the 17th edition of the electrical regulations. So no one can complain. This is a fully legal certified building. Obviously I can't actually show you it because it contains sensitive information. This will be framed and be going up on the wall just to solidify that fact. In the summer, the opening ceremony will commence, and from that day forward, the large list of projects I've slowly been accumulating over the years will finally be started as my ideas become realities. Some of the projects in the works include a high current metal melting spot welder, an ionic fusion reactor, a power cut backup power system, a MIDI controlled laser machine, an entire computer built from single transistors, the revival and rejuvenation of our 2400 watt DC resonant charging bipolar Tesla coil, Project Exodus, launching rockets, thermite explosions, and our long-term Internet of Things project to have the lab and everything in it controlled by a custom-written computer system. All of these projects will be documented by video as well as in text form on the blog. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Having the facilities of the lab and my smorgasbord of tools and equipment at my disposal, the scientific, technical and engineering potential is purely limitless. Stay tuned for much more content coming up this summer. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed.